What do you do when you have to work on an Excel sheet that has extra characters, blanks, or errors? Cleaning the data becomes a pain and a big waste of time. In this video, I will share with you 7 ways in which you can clean the data. We will start with simple methods and go on to more complex one by the end. Simple does not mean not useful. Sometimes it's the simple methods that get the job done. In my experience, I'm able to clean most of my dataset using these simpler methods. Let's begin with the first method. In this sheet, we have data in different cases. SKU is written in upper, lower, and at some places mixed case too. We also have an unwanted space and a hyphen for the second and third item. The easiest method is to use the find and replace tool. Control H. I'm going to write SKU in lowercase and replace it with SKU in uppercase. With one replace action, we resolve the case issue. Now I'm going to replace the space with a blank. I have typed a space in find what and deleted everything from replace with. Hit replace all and the additional spaces are gone. The space between the words in the header, part and ID is also gone. So you will need to keep this limitation in mind. Similarly, I will remove the hyphen. This is the simplest method, but very impactful. Let's move to the next one. In the first table, we've got inconsistent text case. We will resolve this using the functions lower and upper. This is a simple solution. Now, let's look at the second table. Since these are names of people, we would want them in the sentence case. A sentence case means that the first letter of every word should be in uppercase and rest of the letters in lowercase. To achieve that, we can use the function proper. Now the names are written properly. In the final table, we have a lot of unnecessary spaces. We can remove these using the trim function. Trim function removes all spaces before the first character and after the last character. Additionally, it reduces the spaces to exactly one between different words or characters. Now I will use a proper before the trim function. This will help me get the trim names in sentence case. Again, very simple functions for you to clean text data. Let's look at another method. This one's using flash fill. In this example, we want to create the email IDs in the format first name dot last name followed by the domain name. So instead of manually writing them or using formulas to concatenate text, I will use flash fill. I will just type out the first email amy.smith@email.com and now I will press Ctrl E. This shortcut works on both Windows and Mac and we get all the values. Let's look at the next method. Here we have a few SKUs with values and a blank for the ones where there are no stocks. Now, blanks are treated very differently from 0, especially when calculating any type of averages. So we will use a simple if function here to replace these blanks with 0. If the value in the cell B2 is equal to blank or a pair of double quotes, then we return a 0 or else the existing value in the cell B2. Copy it down and we get the desired result. We are now done with all the simple methods. The next one is of intermediate complexity followed by 2 advanced methods. Method number 5. Here is a list of products that have been ordered over a period of time. Blanks represent no order during that duration. We need to get a sorted list of all unique products that are ordered. I will start by removing the blanks. I will use the filter function. Select the range A2 to A11. Include only those values in A2 to A11 which are not equal to blank. Now, let's include this into the unique function to remove duplicates. And finally, sort this list using the sort function. And we're all done. Let's look at the next method, which is slightly complex. We have different patterns for part IDs. We want all the part IDs to start with the letters SKU followed by the numbers that the part ID already contains. No other symbols or letters need to be retained. So the solution is simple. We need to start with SKU, which we can easily do, and then remove all non-numeric values and append the remaining numeric values to the letters SKU. Let's understand the solution using the most complex example here, SKU-004S. We can achieve the result by splitting the text into an array of individual characters. This can be done by finding the length of the characters and converting it first into a reference and then into an array using the indirect and the row function. We will then extract each array item using the mid function and multiply each character by 1. All non-numeric characters will give an error when multiplied by 1. We will remove the errors using the ifError function and will only be left with the numeric values. We can join the remaining numeric values using the text join function. So that's the logic we will follow. Let's translate this into Excel. I will write SKU in double quotes and then use the ampersand operator to append the numbers. Text join. Delimiter is blank as we don't want anything between the numbers. Ignore the next parameter using a comma. And now we will write ifError to remove the errors. The value will be mid of the value A2. To create an array of 1 to 8, I will use row followed by indirect 1 colon ampersand and the length of the value in the cell A2. Close brackets for len, indirect and row, comma, followed by 1 as we want to extract these characters one by one. Close bracket for mid, multiply by 1 to get errors for non-numeric values. In case we get an error, we want to replace it with a blank. This is essentially clearing all the non-numeric values. Close the brackets for ifError and text join and you get the cleaned up value. Copy it for the rest of the cells and we have cleaned this data. On to our last one now. In this example, we need to remove all the unwanted or junk characters. The first example, SKU-001, is in the correct format. It contains only letters and numbers. But the others contain some additional characters. We need to remove them. In this case, we will use the reduce function. The initial value is the value in the cell A2. Array will be all the junk characters. I will write these characters in a pair of curly brackets or braces. And let's write the function using lambda. The two parameters that lambda will receive are the cell A2, which we can call as part ID, and the array of junk characters, which we can call as junk. Calculation will be substitute. From the part ID, find any character from the array junk and replace it with blank. Close brackets for substitute, lambda and reduce. Copy the formula. And we have cleaned all the values. So these are 7 ways to clean data in Excel. Let me know in comments which one you found most useful. I always try and use the easier methods first to keep complexity low. You can follow an approach which appeals to you the most. So that's it for this video. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. And if you'd like to learn more about Excel and Power BI, consider subscribing our channel, Analytics Success. Thanks for watching.